Welcome to The Fix. I'm your host, Brock Bevel. Our topic for this episode is the COVID-19 and the 4 dimensions of recovery. So today on the show, I have Justin Bradford to talk about his past addiction and about COVID-19. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason I wanted to jump in this is because I read an article this week titled something in the premise of COVID-19 is in the process of causing large amounts of suicides and overdose in Maricopa County and statewide. And I started thinking about that, like, what's the correlation between COVID-19 and addiction? Because not only are the overdoses up, but so is the death rate, right? So in your opinion, why do you feel like the COVID is attacking us as addicts so hard?
Well, for me, what has helped me with my addiction is becoming part of the community. Churches, the AA, different branching out in different areas. And since everything has been shut down, I've noticed with my own community group that there's people who feel like lost without the social interactions with their people who they consider family outside of family. Also, there's nothing to do. For me, it's easy. You go home, go to work, take care of house stuff. I've done that for eons. But for folks who need that socializing and all that, I could imagine it's really, really hard. What are you gonna do when there's no church?
Right.
What are you gonna do when there's no AA meetings? Where do you go for help?
Right. I like that. So what I notice, I totally agree with the community. So when I teach an addict or when I teach an individual, it doesn't. I mean, you don't even have to be an addict for this. This is simple life, right? We talk about in addiction recovery, these 4 dimensions in recovery, but it should be talked about in every gym out there. It should be talked about at church, because these 4 dimensions are what's being attacked with this COVID-19. So home, health, community, and purpose. Okay, so let me give you a little insight into my home, okay, just so you can understand. And when we talk about home, you don't have to have this lavish location where it's the most beautiful home. But as addicts, we're okay living on the streets.
Right.
We're okay living in a trailer.
Right.
And I'm talking like horse trailer, like we'll set up shop wherever our addiction takes us, right?
Anywhere.
Right. So when we talk about home, we're talking about 4 walls where we have people that are putting into us, right? So this COVID-19, I'm looking right now. I walked into my house yesterday, and our school should have started 3 days ago. My daughters still don't have their computer. We've sent countless emails to the school. We've went down to the school, right? And we're trying to get this online schooling done, right? And I'm coming in and I'm losing my mind. I'm like, how is this so complicated, right?
Right.
But it is affecting me. It is affecting me mentally because I know my kids should be in school, right? And COVID has forced them to be at home on the computer school, and now it's not working.
And do you have the ability, actually, or do most parents have the ability to teach their own children? There's a lot of people. I was speaking with a friend of mine the other night. They both work, and they barely get by, both parents working. So how are you going to watch 3 or 4 kids at home while having to work still and pay bills?
So you see how our minds as addicts go. We just say, we have the case.
How does that work, though?
Yeah, we just throw our hands up and say, I'm going to go relapse.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, think about the small
or start using at that point, because some folks aren't addicts yet.
Man, yeah, because you're home,
and everybody sees drugs and alcohol as a form of release.
Man,
and so I mean, you may be creating addicts with all this going on right here, and creating a bigger problem. And so this is what I'm really concerned about: is what is this COVID deal doing to the whole community?
Funny, I'm on my Peloton a couple of days ago, and I'm killing it, right? And I have my earbuds on. I'm slaying the workout in my mind, right?
Right.
And my girls are there doing their thing, and my wife looks at me, and she gets my attention, and she's like, "Shh." I'm like, what? She goes, you're breathing too hard. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Like this confinement, right? Because of this COVID-19
in your own home,
in my own home, is forcing us to like live 100% differently. Where in the past we can go to work, get a break. Right? We could do our work and we feel accomplished. Now working from home, I'm like, man, am I even getting this done?
And for me, you know, and it's crazy because being institutionalized growing up and, you know, being in and out of jail and rehabs and things, for me, it's very comforting to be at home, you know, and so for me, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
You know, I know that maybe you or other folks might have a hard time with this.
But are you totally isolated at home?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I work a lot, you know, and the things that I learned being in your program, you know, the gym, being involved with the community service, volunteer work, churches, things like that. When I finally have a break, I enjoy that, and I take that time to myself. And a lot of folks don't realize that we need that time, our just our own peace.
Right. So I'm even diving deeper into this. Like, because of COVID, because of loss of jobs, people are struggling at home. Right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, they have all this chaos going on. And you brought up a good point. Is the second pillar to this is our health. Right. So in the past, we could leave our homes to get healthy.
Right.
We could go to the gyms, but now they've closed the gyms. They've closed the forest. They've closed the lakes. Like, what do we do now? There's no bowling alley. There's no TV. These things that we used to do.
It's got everybody out shopping and spending and gathering in areas which we should not be in.
Right.
Let alone, you know, taking away our lakes and everything. Why is that?
So that's what I'm saying is, like, we're talking about why there's more suicides is because the depression level, more overdoses, because we're home with nothing to do and we're having to recreate entertainment.
And for me, it's made me dig deeper. Okay, so God is really easy to seek when you're going to church in groups.
On Sundays.
It's real easy. So, you know, you got everybody watching, all that, you know, you get to put on a show. But when it comes down to your relationship with Him, being disciplined and seeking Him on your own, in your own time, on your own time, in your home, that's discipline. So exercise, finding the exercise, whether the gyms are closed or not.
Yes, there you go.
Figuring out your routines on your own, because a lot of folks, we aren't self-motivated as a society, I don't think. You know, there's a lot of people who need to be told what to do. So this is for me about discipline, which I had learned through the place where, you know, you guys had opened over there. And that discipline isn't changed my life. It has taught me life. You know, people say, "Oh, this place changed my life." Well, yeah, it changed my life. Not doing drugs or drinking for a day will change your life.
Okay, so you're talking about a philosophy that I want to share with people. Okay, you're talking about behavior modification, behavior change. Like the military, they try to behavior modification, behavioral change. Okay, and change of nature.
Right.
Okay, let me explain what that means, just so for the audience, so they can understand. So the change behavior that you're talking about, that's seeking God on your own versus seeking God at church.
Right.
Or I can't go to the gym, so I can work out at home.
Yeah.
But then I have a kid that's like, hey, I can't work at home. I have no weights. Okay, so that's where this behavior change starts happening. So check this out. So you go to recovery, okay? You spend 6 good months in recovery, you're sober, you feel great in recovery, right?
Right.
Because your behavior is being changed. You're in class, you're going with the guys. But then when you get out, do you maintain that same behavior? Okay, so stick with me for a second. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, 100%. We're showing up at CrossFit. Individuals go to CrossFit because Brock makes us go to CrossFit. So that's changing, that's behavior modification. You're changing people's behavior, not out of force because it's better for them, right? So 6 o'clock they change. But now they get out. They're on their own. They have a full-time job. What happens to those behaviors that they were doing for 6 months?
Oh, I'm too tired. I had a long day tomorrow. It's nothing but excuses.
So how do we change the nature? Because I'm telling you, of everybody listening to this, if they could grasp this concept, this is how you kill addiction. This is how you break addiction. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years in it or 2 days in it. It is a change of nature of who you are. Everything about you. Just like you're saying, your chase for Christ, your chase for God.
And it really is. And a lot of days you got to really dig deep. I've got a trainer who wants me up at the gym. It went from 5:30 in the afternoon to now it's 5:30 in the morning. That's a 30-minute drive from where I'm at. And you know how much I just want to lay in bed. Oh man, it's early for this.
Hit that snooze.
But I think these people are willing to spend their time on me and take the time out of their lives. And this is just as hard for these folks to get out of bed as well. So why can't you get up and show up if they can?
But is it deeper than that? Is the root deeper than where?
It is deeper because
this guy's pouring into me and I'm getting better.
Yeah, I enjoy life now.
So you've changed your nature about addiction.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I've changed many aspects of my life, but a lot of it's still the same. You guys taught me to change your cage and all that. But a lot of my cage is this town, kind of. I was living in prison here in my addiction because I was horrible throughout my addiction. I created a lot of wreckage, destroyed lots of people's lives, and so I felt like I was in prison. Yes, it was tough to even go into Circle K's.
And you're worried about who am I going to run into today?
Yes.
What are they still thinking? Or you're sitting at the house eating.
And that stuff doesn't change instantly. Where the change is coming is, I've had some good friends, my father, good sponsors in my life who tell me to stay the path. I got out due to this COVID. I was released from the rehab. I expected to go back there one day, and it just never happened.
So today, how many days sober do you have?
I just hit 8 months on Monday. So
that's not just a behavior modification. You just didn't say,
and that's
I'm not drinking.
Just from alcohol. That's not just that's 100% sober.
Right, sober-minded.
100.
Good. Okay, so when we talk about this health, we're not talking just spiritual health. We're talking physical, mental.
Physical was huge. I know you guys promoted that, and then it just became something that I became really interested in because of my folks, myself. And why get sober if you're not going to live a healthy life? Because we're out there just doing what we want. Killing our bodies.
You kill your bodies, but you don't fix your brain. You don't fix your head.
So the mental aspect of it, I mean, those are the fun parts. Let's go to church. Socialize. Let's go to the gym. A lot of guys love going to the gym, all that jazz. The mental aspect has been really difficult, and that's where I had to learn to seek guidance from multiple other people, not just one person's opinion, but I'm seeking guidance from 3 to 4, if not 5 different men who I hold in high regards.
Good. So get different opinions.
Lots of different opinions, but you have to be brutally honest with what you're up to, what you're going through, and what you're doing with yourself first.
Yeah.
And then reach out to these guys and ask them the same questions and give them your thoughts over and over and over, and you're going to hear a lot of things that you don't want about yourself.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's what's learning.
Total change.
I'm learning, hey, I got where I'm at with the thinking I've got, so you need some outside.
What do you think's harder? To change your body physically? Okay, so we got the body change, the spiritual change, or do you think it's the mental change the hardest to recover from addiction?
I would have to say 100% the mental.
I'm working with a young man right now, and I can see when he crumbles. It's the most audible, palpable thing I've ever seen. So we're working out. As soon as it gets hard, I can see his brain tell him, I can't do this.
Retreat.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something we've done when it gets hard in addiction. That's why addiction recovery is hard, because my mind's saying, I need that. You can go chase that.
Oh,
right?
and lately, it's wild because everybody thinks, oh, you're at 8 months now. Is it getting easier?
Man.
And I thought, man, no, it's actually harder than when I first started out now, because you have this reward system that you're used to in life where, I had a really long day at work. You deserve a beer today.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn to train myself. That's not a reward.
Yeah.
That's bad for you.
That's bad. Let's make sure we hit on these other two, just so we make sure we're not short on time. We talked about our home life, our health. Now let's go into our community and our purpose. These two things where our community is almost shut down, right? Except for Walmart, where we may pass somebody.
Yeah.
Churches are opening back up. I heard that good news this week. But what I'm asking is, like, when we talk about community, it's not a location so much.
I think community is a feeling. For me, it is a sense of belonging.
Brotherhood?
Camaraderie, reaching out to those who need a hand.
And you are amazing at that. I will throw that out in the open public. That is something you're amazing at. And I believe your addiction recovery process, this whole change, I'm not just talking about addiction, but your whole change in nature is overflowing by the way you help people. I think that's where you pour into it. That's
what has changed my heart more than anything, is helping others. And it's very humbling to get out there and do things. Especially in a community that you created havoc in, yes, and having to face a lot of those demons and walk the walk. And you told me, there's one point where I wanted to back out. I'm like, I can't do this. This is super uncomfortable. It's just all the walls are coming in around me, and I wanted that instant gratification, those rewards for, I'm sober now.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to be up on this pedestal here. Where's my medal? And I got to this point where I stopped having people offer like that praise, because I don't want to be praised for doing what 90% of America is doing every single day on their own, and they're not up on these pedestals. Right. They're not getting these medals. They get up, they go to work, they go to church, they take care of their kids. I like that. So you're creating community through your community service, through your church activity. I know you do. You work at the church. Pastor Ernie, great people. I know you do a lot up there. Is. You work with community groups, so you're out there in small groups. Well, I don't want to violate that, but you're in small groups. And develop those relationships. And I've seen it change those groups as well. When the COVID first hit, there was mass amounts of folks who wanted to help and reach out, and I seen the community come so close. It was cool. Churches working with other churches. It was really neat. I thought this is what life is about here. All these people from different parts of the community joining and helping without reward from it. Just taking it out of your own day. Are you still seeing that? Now I'm seeing where people are losing touch. We're getting used to it. People are losing touch. There's just less motivation for people to do, because I don't think they see the end at any point here. Okay. So I'm seeing less folks that are as motivated as when this first happened. So it's like we need a little spark. Yeah, we don't need anything else to happen. We don't need anything crazy. So home health, community. So I love where you're
find in your community? Are there any other places that people, if they don't go to church, where do they find community? I know AA halls are still open. I know over here they're still meeting at 7:30 in the morning. There's still some activities going on.
Well, in small areas like this, it's really difficult, and the places where I have found them, actually, they kind of overlap. So at the gym, there's folks that go to the church from the gym. At Blue Vase here, there's folks there that I run into through AA. So it all kind of, and you've got to build all this around you and make it your center. Yeah, and
like
you cannot wait for the day for some guy to just randomly walk up to you and be like, hey, I want to sponsor you, because it's probably not going to happen. Not going to happen, no.
So COVID's not killing us completely. Like maybe we're making some excuses because our home life can still be okay. Our health, we can find a way to get active. We can find a way to get spiritual. We can find a way. I met with my doctor, Dr. Goodman, up here in North Country. Great guy. We Skyped this week. We talked. We telemedicine. It was phenomenal, right? I didn't have to go to his office. So I want to say that this is still happening. Life is still going.
I kind of appreciate it more.
Okay.
It slowed the world down, and it made the simple things more important.
Like it.
Home life, family, work, looking out for your neighbors, taking care of one another. Yeah, basic things.
So now the most important one. And I don't want to even use the addiction word. I want to say life's purpose. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're at right now. You have to have a purpose in order for you to evolve and change. What's your purpose?
Wow, life's purpose. My life's purpose is to be able to leave this earth and not have to come back, if that's how it works.
Yeah. At least in 2020, we're not coming back.
To be able to say, you know what, I did everybody very well. I treated everybody with love. And spreading that love is, I think, my number one goal is to find the true definition and meaning of love and to teach other people how to spread that love, because love is God. So if you're doing everything with love in your life every single day, loving every single person out here, treating them very well, you're in God's path, in my opinion.
Do you feel like your past, through your past mistakes, because I know we've gone out together and there's some nerves, who you're going to run into, when you're going to run into that person. I get it, man. I get it. So do you feel like your past has recreated a better Justin?
Oh, yeah, 100%, because I get to talk to guys who were like me, who are afraid to come out of their shells, who are afraid to be open and honest with their history. And I get to make them feel comfortable and open up and get rid of some of those demons and release some of that stress that they're carrying. Because, in addiction, we're all different people. Everybody's somebody different, and unless you finally get to be real in yourself, you're probably going to keep relapsing and going back out there. I explained it to somebody. It's, for me, it was like, I was trying to be a good guy in a bad world, and it's like,
or a good guy doing bad things.
Yes,
yeah.
And it's like brushing your hair the way that it doesn't go. It just goes against your grain, against your nature, your heart, and I've lived like that too long. And so for me, being able to help somebody else come out of that is this is where it's at.
So how do I find my purpose? Because I believe if I have my purpose set, my community's right, my health is on point, my home life's good, there's no reason for me to relapse. Right? If I'm chasing,
there really
we call it chasing the vase, man. Like my purpose is that vase, right? So I'm always chasing, gunning for something.
And for me, it's just, I guess, maintaining accountability. If you don't recognize when you're off and you're not in touch with your higher power, or if you're losing communication with your main group, you're destined to relapse very soon.
You better have a good team that notices it.
Yes,
that makes sense?
And it's simple stuff. Every Sunday I play rummy with my folks. I post a picture on my Facebook timeline, not to show anybody other than the people that are in my circle.
I am here. This is what I'm doing.
This is my routine every week.
Yeah.
So that if 1 week happens, they happen to not see that picture of those cards.
Why aren't you at Mom and Dad's house?
How come you're not at your folks' house today?
Yeah.
What's going on? Where you at? Well, hopefully you're on vacation, because
or at Brock's house.
That should be the only reason why you're not there today.
Oh man, I get it.
Because those things is what became important. Sitting around the table with Mom and Dad playing cards.
My kids became important. My family, just like you.
Yeah.
I know your relationship with your mom and dad.
Simple
give them a
things.
shout out, amazing people. But that was with me, man. I realized the damage that I was causing to my own kids, man. That lack of communication.
And I still don't do the parenting thing perfectly yet. There's still things where I suffer still, and I do the best I can each day. Would I like to say that everything is perfect all at once? I would love to be able to sit here and tell you that life is so simple and great now, but life is life for everybody.
I'm telling you, I just used the analogy of the cork. Mare found a cork in the house, right? And she's like, "Let me throw this away." I was like, "No, I need that. That's like my life. That's who I am." Like, because the Earth's made up of 71% of the water, and you take that cork and you throw it in the ocean. Guess what it does? Keeps rising. Rising's going to get beat on by the waves, which we're getting right now, but it always rises. It always stays at the top. You will find it at the top. It'll sink. Like, you can push a cork down, but as soon as you let it go,
that's like our
us.
drill out at the Owens Pond.
There you go. Justin, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your sobriety. Keep working hard. Thank you for watching The Fix. I'm Brock Bevel. If you know someone who is struggling or affected by addiction, there is hope. There is always help out there. Please don't give up. You're important and your life matters. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.